This is an example of one of my pieces that I used different kinds of things that are green material. One, I used the wallpaper that's here. I stained the wallpaper and did a background for the piece that I did. And I also used, this is a styrofoam plate of which I took and painted and then used glue, used tacky glue. And while the tacky glue was still tacky, I embedded things into the glue, but also I heated up the glue, and when I heated up the glue, it became tacky, but actually was able to imprint and create texture by pressing things into the glue to create some really interesting relief and interesting textures, almost like fossils. And this again is something that I really feel is really cool because it is using something we ordinarily don't see as art material, but can be. And that's an example of something that I use a lot. I use a lot of styrofoam plates, both as mosaic pieces after the kids work on a project and there's paint left on the plate. I leave the plates to dry, and while the plate's wet, sometimes I texture the plate, or sometimes I draw on the plate to make more design on the plate, just to make a more interesting look. Sometimes I also use like 3 or 4 layers of paint and let that really get thick, and then I let that dry, and then I use that as texture, and it creates this interesting mineral-like look to it. And I think this looks like almost like mineral or a fossil. And of course there's various different kinds of paint in here as well. And I think I also used some embossing powder, and when I emboss the powder into the styrofoam plate, it looks like it's melted. Also used the glue gun, just to, without any glue on it, just to make holes and imprints into the, or textures into the styrofoam plate. And again, I used, this is an old piece of jewelry. This is a little bottle that I actually already had. This is a piece of bark that I found that morning. This is fabric that I made. This is paper from a collage that I did at one time. This is a collaged piece that I did that I reused for the background. And I could incorporate nature. And this is a textured canvas that I used joint compound for the texture, and then various different washes to create, again, the stone look. I like to age things and make things look ancient. That's one of the things I enjoy doing.